I am Berta, and today I'm going to tell you about the most interesting and funny story in my life. Just to start, do you know what is Chalita? If you don't, Chalita was like Bodega Aurrera. Chalita disappeared approximately in 2006, and in that story, I was like 5 years old. This story is about how I got lost in Chalita when I was a kid. Just to put you in context, when I was that age, my grandma took care of me and my brother, and she had a neighbor called Chalito. This neighbor always helped my grandma, and she asked her if she needs something from the market or the supermarket. And one day, Chalito went to my grandma's house, and she said that she will go to Chalita. So she asked my grandma if she needs something from Chalita. My grandma said no. So Chalito said, okay, I'm going now. So she left, and a few moments later, my grandma told me, take these 10 pesos and give them to Chalito. And as Chalito said that she will go to Chalita, my logic was to reach her in her way to Chalita. So I left my house and I started to look for Chalito in the streets. I crossed streets, I crossed avenues, and finally, when I was almost in Chalita, I have to cross along a very crowded avenue, and that avenue had a traffic light, and I didn't know how to cross streets or avenues with a traffic light. So I wait to other people cross the street and I follow them. But in that moment I was alone and I was feeling very scared, very anxious because I didn't find Chalito. So I sat down and I started to cry. I was crying in a corner in the street, and so many people passed in front of me, but none of them stopped to help me or something like that, until a family came close to me and they helped me. They asked me if I was alone and what I was doing there alone. So they asked me if I want company to arrive to Chalita, and I said yes. So they accompanied me to Chalita. We were almost there. We were very near. So we just have to cross the 57 highway, and then we arrived to Chalita. And in Chalita, I went to the customer's office and I asked for Chalito, but Chalito wasn't there. So but my logic was, but maybe she has gone. But why I didn't reach her in the way? Because we followed the same way, and in that age I thought that just exists only one way to arrive to Chalita, and that way was the only, but it wasn't. So after that, the family asked me where did I live, and I didn't know my address, so I just told them that in that way. So they accompanied me again to arrive to my house, and in the halfway we met my Uncle Toño, and I saw him in his bike and I screamed, Uncle Toño! And he was very confused because he didn't expect to find me in the way. So he threw his bike and came close to me, and he told me, what are you doing here? And I was like, my grandma asked me to give 10 pesos to Chalito. And my uncle said, but Chalito was in her house. And I was like, why? She told that she was going to Chalita. Why? So this family was very upset with my uncle, and they told him why they let a little girl alone in the streets. And my uncle said, we didn't ask her to go alone. We just asked her to go in the front house to give the money to the neighbor. After that, my uncle took me to my grandma's house in his bike, and when we were coming closer to the street where my grandma lived, I started to see a lot of ambulances, a lot of policemen, and I was shocked because I didn't know what happened. Then when I finally arrived to my grandma's house, I saw her crying and very bad. She was very sick and she was very scared because she didn't know where I was. And there was a lot of people that I didn't know. All the neighbors were there. My family, my parents, my brother, everybody was there. And I was lost because I knew where I was, but they didn't know where I was. So I wasn't lost. And finally, when everybody was calmed down, I knew that Chayito never went to Chalita. She was in her house, so I just left my house because I understood that I have to reach her in the way to Chalita. So it was a necessary thing that I went to Chalita, and I didn't remember what happened at the end of the story, but I remember that when I was there and everybody was calmed down, I was playing with my neighbors, and that's all. All my family was very scared and very shocked because they didn't know where I was. So to end the story, if someday someone in your family asks for a favor like this, please first ask all the instructions and ask for the specific information. I hope you never pass for an experience like this one, and if you do, please be very careful, but I hope you don't. Thank you for watching the video. That was my story. I hope you liked. So please click in the thumbs up button, click on the subscribe button, and see you in the next video. Bye!